Welcome to AI for Beginners Demystified, the podcast that makes artificial intelligence simple, practical, and profitable for small business owners. Each week, we turn complex AI concepts into real-world strategies you can use to grow your business. Hosted by the team at Internet Marketing Services. This is AI for Beginners Demystified, where the future of business starts today. Let's get started.
Welcome to AI for Beginners Demystified, the podcast that makes artificial intelligence simple, practical, and exciting. I'm Rick Samara.
And I'm Paul Stober. So if you follow the world of artificial intelligence at all, you've probably heard the term large language model or, LLM 1,000 times.
Probably more.
Right. And there's this persistent, almost sci-fi myth that these systems are just launched, fully formed, that the moment the initial training is complete, the AI is a flawless, omniscient brain ready to go forever.
And that assumption is probably the fastest way to turn a multi-million-dollar AI investment into a massive liability.
Yeah.
The reality we need to confront today is that AI systems, especially generative AI, are fundamentally fragile. They are not static monuments of knowledge. They're living software that starts to degrade the moment you cut it off from new data.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Our mission for this deep dive is to really understand why AI is not and just cannot be a set it and forget it technology.
Right.
We're going to show you why this idea of continuous learning is so essential for AI to stay accurate, ethical, and, effective in high-stakes environments, whether that's finance, healthcare, or even just your marketing spend.
Exactly. And when we say continuous learning, what we're really talking about are the processes designed to fight two major threats. One is catastrophic forgetting, and the other is domain drift.
Okay, what do you mean by those?
Well, the initial training gives the model its baseline smarts, its fluency. But without ongoing structured feedback and new data, the model quickly forgets crucial details while also just completely failing to grasp the context of the world changing around it.
Which brings us to, I think, the core problem. Why does AI get stale so fast in the first place?
It's a problem of temporal misalignment, a time problem. Every single model, with no exceptions, is trained on historical data.
Data from the past.
Data from yesterday, last year, maybe 5 years ago. Think of the training environment like a time capsule. The real world, on the other hand, is a continuous, high-speed information stream.
So the moment that initial training is done, the AI is already operating with outdated assumptions.
Precisely. And the consequence of that gap, that time lag, is performance decay. A model that was, say, 95% accurate on its test data might fall to 80% in the real world just 6 months later.
Wow, that's a huge drop.
It is because the world has moved on. Language evolves, consumer behavior shifts, global events create new contexts, and crucially for business, rules and regulations change.
Can you give us a really concrete example of this? Where does the rubber meet the road on performance decay?
Sure. Look at the regulatory world, finance or compliance. Let's say you deploy an AI system to review legal documents based on 2023 regulations.
Oh, okay.
Then, in 2024, a major new law is passed. Your model will immediately start flagging correct actions as incorrect, or worse, it could miss major compliance violations entirely. It's literally operating in the past.
That's fascinating. So it's not that the AI isn't smart enough, it's just that it's not current.
That's it. Exactly.
And that has to lead us to where this decay gets really dangerous, which is the compounding error.
Yes. The compounding error is where the static nature of the initial training becomes a potential disaster. If a human makes a mistake, they usually get feedback pretty quickly, you know?
Right? A manager steps in, a client complains.
Exactly. But an autonomous AI system, it can make a flawed output based on old assumptions. And then, and this is the scary part, it can reuse that flawed output for its next decision.
It's a self-feeding cycle of misinformation, isn't it?
It is.
Like, if a customer service AI suggests a solution for a product that's been discontinued and then uses that interaction to inform how it handles the next similar query, the error doesn't just happen once.
It multiplies. Yeah. It becomes a foundational flaw in how it operates going forward.
Absolutely.
Or think about predictive maintenance in a factory. If a model starts incorrectly flagging a machine part for failure because that part was redesigned and improved after the model is trained,
you're wasting time and money on unnecessary maintenance checks.
And if the system then incorporates its own faulty predictions into how it ranks things in the future, it just becomes confidently wrong. It actually accelerates the decay process.
So if we're trying to picture this, how should we think about a newly trained but still static LLM? What's the analogy?
Let's go back to that college student idea, but let's make it more specific. Imagine a brand new programmer, fresh out of school, who aced every class on Python 3, knows the textbook inside and out.
Got it. Top of their class.
But when they get to their first job, the company is using Python 4, and it has all these subtle but critical differences. Plus, they have to interact with 3 new proprietary APIs that were never covered in school.
Okay, so the knowledge is good, but it's not applicable.
The potential is there. The fundamental knowledge is there. But without continuous hands-on experience and feedback on those new things, they will quickly fall behind and start shipping bugs.
Quick question for med spa owners. How many calls did you miss this week? Because every unanswered call could be a $500 to $3,000 client booking somewhere else. That's why med spas are turning to Voice AI Plus, an AI-powered receptionist and follow-up system that answers every call 24/7, books appointments, and follows up automatically. No voicemail, no missed opportunities, no extra staff. And it doesn't stop there. Voice AI Plus also includes your CRM, booking calendar, email automation, and review management, all in one system. Try it free for 30 days and see the calls, the bookings, and the ROI for yourself. Visit the link in the description to learn more today.
Potential is just that, potential. It's the application and the refinement that actually create value. The minute you stop adapting, you start regressing.
That is the perfect way to put.
So if the problem is this decay and compounding error, then the solution has to involve some kind of intervention. This brings us right to the mechanism that prevents this. A human-in-the-loop system.
Yes. Continuous learning is the framework. The human feedback is the fuel. It's the structured process that allows an AI to adapt to new data, to new user behaviors, and just the changing conditions of the real world. Without it, the model is just burning through its initial usefulness.
Okay. I have to ask the question that always comes up here. If the whole point of AI is automation, why are we talking about needing humans to constantly police it? Doesn't that sort of defeat the purpose and kill the ROI?
That's a really fair challenge. The key is understanding the difference between automation and judgment.
Okay.
We are automating for scale and for speed, but humans are, for now, irreplaceable when it comes to context, nuance, and ethics. A human-in-the-loop system isn't about a person checking every single output. It's about targeted interventions.
So not babysitting, but coaching.
A great way to put it. It's providing the precise, high-quality feedback needed to train the model's behavior, not just update its fact sheet.
So, what specific things are these human auditors or even just users doing that the AI can't do for itself?
Well, their feedback has layers. First, and most obviously, is critical mistake correction, flagging things that are just factually wrong or outdated.
Right.
Second, they're essential for context. An AI can parse words, but a human understands the intent behind a user's question in a business setting. And third, and maybe most importantly, they spot behavior that's drifting away from the company's goals or ethical lines.
And we, the everyday users, are actually part of this loop, right? Even if we don't realize it. The classic example is the little thumbs up and thumbs down button next to a model's answer.
Those buttons are the simplest, most scalable form of human guidance there is. When you click thumbs up, you're sending a signal that the response was relevant, helpful, and safe. You're giving positive reinforcement for that line of reasoning.
And a thumbs down, especially if you add a little note about why.
That's gold. That's pure gold for the developers. You're flagging that the answer was irrelevant, wrong, maybe even biased or unsafe. It's a direct injection of human judgment into the machine's learning cycle.
But, and this is a critical point, your feedback doesn't instantly update the model.
Right? No, absolutely not. Yeah, it's not like you're just dropping a new fact into the LLM's memory.
That would be just memorizing, not learning.
Exactly. Your feedback is aggregated. It's analyzed alongside millions of other data points from all kinds of users. And that collective human judgment is then used to retrain a specific part of the model, what's called the reinforcement learning layer.
The part that controls its behavior.
Precisely. It dictates how the model behaves and what kind of answers it prioritizes. This aggregation step is what prevents the model from being led astray by one person's weird or incorrect feedback. It's how developers systematically stamp out repeated errors.
So the human is basically teaching the AI how to be a reliable colleague, not just teaching it a list of facts. The value isn't just in the data, it's in the behavioral refinement.
That's it. We are training the system's ability to reason, to contextualize, and to stay aligned with our standards. This is what makes an AI not just intelligent, but genuinely useful and trustworthy.
Which moves us perfectly into our final big area, ethical alignment and long-term value. Because of this continuous human oversight, it's not just about technical accuracy, is it? It's about the moral and legal responsibility for the system.
Right. And what's so fascinating here is that bias is just inherent in huge historical data sets. AI systems don't just invent bias out of thin air.
No, they reflect us.
They reflect the patterns, the prejudices, the inequalities that were already present in the human data they were trained on. So if you don't continuously check on the model's performance when it's live, those biases can get amplified.
So maintaining a responsible AI isn't a one-time thing. It's not a checkbox you tick on launch day.
It is absolutely non-negotiable for any organization deploying these tools, whether it's for screening resumes or processing loan applications. They are legally and ethically responsible for what that system does.
So continuous learning is really about aligning with company values, with laws like GDPR, and just basic societal expectations.
Yes, when the accountability rests with the company, the maintenance of the model has to reflect that high standard.
So how do the best organizations actually do this? What are they doing beyond just hoping for user feedback?
They get proactive. They use structured auditing and something called adversarial testing or red teaming.
What's that?
Passive monitoring is just watching what the model puts out. Adversarial testing is actively trying to break it. You systematically feed it edge case queries, toxic prompts, and ambiguous questions, all to expose its latent biases and stress test the ethical guardrails that human feedback helped to build.
Sounds expensive.
It is an expensive commitment, but the cost of a public failure, a major bias incident, or regulatory breach is exponentially higher.
That makes perfect sense. The investment in continuous learning is basically just a high-level risk management strategy.
Absolutely. The businesses that actively manage these learning cycles, they get better results, they have lower operational risk, and they build trust in their AI tools. They're maximizing the utility of the tech.
Let's bring this back to our learner one last time, drawing that parallel between how AI learns and how we learn.
It is an almost perfect mirror. And AI doesn't get good at something because it's suddenly smart. It gets good through practice, revision, and correction. It's just like a student who masters a subject by doing hundreds of practice problems, getting feedback from a teacher, making mistakes, and then adjusting their approach. That is continuous learning.
Right? Both humans and AI learn from their mistakes, they get better with feedback, and they perform better with structured experience. There's no magic button for expertise. Whether you're a person or a sophisticated LLM, growth is always a process.
A gradual, iterative process. That's the whole story of useful AI.
So, when we put it all together, what does this mean for the future of AI and our role in it?
It means that the most valuable AI systems are going to be the ones that embrace this ongoing learning, this structured oversight, and this deep operational collaboration between humans and machines. Continuous learning is what ensures AI stays a powerful, adaptable tool that augments our abilities rather than a clumsy tool that fails because its knowledge is outdated.
That's a crucial takeaway. Continuous learning is the bridge that turns a static program into a dynamic, useful co-pilot. The AI systems that win won't be the ones with the best initial training data. They'll be the ones with the best feedback loops.
And that leads us to our final provocative thought for you to consider. We've established that progress happens gradually through exposure, correction, and refinement for both AI and for people. So if AI absolutely requires this continuous feedback to avoid, catastrophic forgetting, what does that teach us about how we maintain our own expertise? Are we, as humans, also experiencing performance decay if we stop actively seeking out new feedback and exposing ourselves to new data?
All right, let's recap today's big idea.
This one matters more than most people realize.
Yeah. We kicked off by busting the myth that AI, especially large language models, are these finished, flawless brains once training is done.
Right. In reality, AI starts aging the moment it's deployed. The second it's cut off from fresh data, it begins drifting away from the real world.
Which led us to the core problem, temporal misalignment. AI is trained on the past, but it operates in a world that keeps changing.
And that gap causes performance decay. A model that looks great in testing can quietly lose accuracy over months, sometimes dramatically.
We talked about how that shows up in the real world. Outdated regulations, shifting consumer behavior, redesigned products, things humans adapt to automatically, but AI doesn't.
And that's where it gets dangerous, because AI doesn't just make mistakes, it can compound them.
Exactly. If an AI uses its own outdated outputs to make future decisions, it becomes confidently wrong faster.
Which is why we emphasize this so strongly. AI is not a set it and forget it technology.
The solution is continuous learning with humans in the loop.
Not babysitting every output, but coaching. Targeted human feedback that corrects mistakes, adds context, and keeps the system aligned with business goals and ethics.
And that includes everyday users. Even something as simple as a thumbs up or thumbs down feeds into better behavior over time.
That feedback doesn't instantly change the model, but aggregated at scale, it reshapes how the AI reasons and responds.
So let's land this with a few key takeaways.
First, AI degrades without feedback. If it's not learning, it's slowly getting worse.
Second, automation doesn't replace judgment. Humans are still essential for context, nuance, and ethics.
Third, the most valuable AI systems won't be the ones with the best initial training. They'll be the ones with the best feedback loops.
And finally, continuous learning isn't just a technical upgrade. It's risk management, trust building, and long-term value creation.
So here's your actionable item for this week.
If you're using AI in your business or even just personally, ask one simple question.
Where is feedback happening and where is it missing?
That could mean reviewing AI outputs weekly, flagging outdated responses, or intentionally giving feedback instead of just accepting answers.
Because the same rule applies to us as it does to AI.
If we stop learning, stop checking our assumptions, and stop seeking feedback,
we don't stay the same.
We drift.
And continuous learning, whether for humans or machines, is how you stay sharp.
Thanks for listening to AI for Beginners Demystified, brought to you by Internet Marketing Services, helping small businesses harness the power of AI to work smarter and grow faster. If you found this episode helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new episode. Be sure to check out the description below for valuable links and resources, including free tools, learning guides, and ways to start applying AI in your business today. And visit einternetmarketingservices.com to explore even more AI tools, tips, and resources. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep demystifying AI.